Hey friends, Megan McIntosh here. Welcome to this video. Today I am going to talk to you about thought leadership and thought leadership in your role as a coach or service provider. So if you're there watching live, say hi, let me know where you're coming in from, what city, what town, what country. And yeah, just say hi, drop it down below. I'm based just out of Mississauga. I'm based just out of Toronto, Canada, and Mississauga, and it's a beautiful day. It is dark outside with the, what do you call it? Daylight savings, and is that, I don't know if it's opposite daylight savings. I never get that. But now it gets dark at 6 o'clock, so it's kind of funny. And I had a wonderful weekend, went to Niagara Falls, super busy, got to go to the casino, went to Yuck Yucks, which is a comedy performance, big, huge show, and I felt like it was back being normal, right? Without the pandemic. Even though the pandemic's still here, I felt like I was living life normally. So that was me, that was my weekend, and now I'm back to give you some fun news and fun details on thought leadership. So the reason why I want to talk about this is I think that one of the hardest things that we realize when we first get out there sharing our businesses, getting out there online, promoting ourselves, is the idea that we need to set ourselves apart from other people. And I mean, it's not really hard. I like doing that. I like being different. I like to create my own content and showcase who I am and how I'm different. But I think there's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot more than people mention. That is to create the content in terms of creating your own ideas, your own methods, and your thought leadership. And I want to say that it's normal to take time to think about your ideas, and it's also normal to feel overwhelmed sometimes that there's so many things that you want to say and so many ideas that you might have, but you really haven't been able to distill it onto paper or distill it into a method or a framework or a way of a step-by-step process to teach your clients. But it is part of your job to do this. It's part of your job to distill what is in your head, all those ideas, all the trainings, and the way that you coach people. You have to be able to critically think about your coaching, what you offer people, as well as your style and how you're different, so that when you're marketing out there, you're putting yourself out there on the internet and you're showcasing who you are, that other people can distinguish why you're different, why you would be somebody to choose over someone else who does something similar to you. And it really does come down to your ability to showcase your thought leadership, your ability to really put your tent peg in the ground and say, this is why I'm different. These are the methods I use. This is the educational background that I have. These are the skills I have. And this is the framework that I take my clients through. And this is something that takes time. Having these different assets in your business takes time to build. And it's something that I know for myself, I'm building out a course right now. Each element of the course and the different trainings are an asset, right? They're an asset that I've created, something that I've come up with, something that I work with my clients with, and then from there, being able to distill that knowledge in the simplest, clearest manner in a way that it's, 5 steps or less, and maybe even 6 steps, right? It doesn't really matter how many steps there are. But I mean, people do like to learn with minimum of information. And so one of the ways that I teach my clients to create content is to think about buckets and to think about categories and topics. What are you going to be talking about when you're putting content out there? What are the categories you're going to be speaking on over and over and over again, so that those become part of your repertoire, those become part of your brand and your expertise, right? The things that I tend to talk about are mindset, marketing, energy, creativity, sales, and innovation, and those are usually the buckets on topics that I talk about over and over and over again. But to create the topics within the topics and to create more themes within the topics, I do research. I look at examples of what I've coached with my clients on. I do research outside of my industry to find out the latest details of what I want to learn in marketing, right? I'm on Twitter a lot. I go to different conferences. I mean, I haven't gone to conferences in person, but I have done online conferences and events and that kind of thing to really continue to be knowledgeable and get more knowledge and topics around the main categories that I speak on. And I think that the hardest thing about going out there online and putting yourself out there is first putting yourself out there, but then putting yourself out there over and over again in a consistent manner where you're professional, where people start understanding what you're all about, and you become a thought leader. You become someone that's an expertise in what you do. And that is something that you have to do. You have to think this way. You have to think, how can I be creative? How can I be innovative? How can I think differently? How can I think out of the box? And how can I teach these concepts in a way that continually make it easier for my clients to get results? So you could be talking, with my own teaching, I've created videos. I've created numerous courses, right? And each course is slightly different. I've created, I think, 3 different sales courses, and a lot of them are more boot camp mini courses. But each of them are sort of saying the same thing in terms of the sales process, but I've taught them in different ways. And if you could distill your ideas into a simple way of teaching, your clients will get really great benefit from it. But you also have to know that everyone learns differently. So one of the things that I love to do is I love to have transcripts. I love to have transcripts of my content. I love to have videos as well as the worksheets, or something like in a Google Doc. And I like to have step-by-step processes so someone can follow. But it's not just to be saying like, this is my thought leadership and you have to do it exactly the way I'm teaching you. It's more so that those concepts are simple and they're clear to the person that's following them, rather than this type of thing. So what I'm doing on Facebook Lives, when I'm going in my Facebook Live in my group, or if I'm going on IGTV and just talking on, shooting the shit in a long live stream, it's not really concepts distilled to their most simplest way, right? I think about a topic before I come on here, and then I just talk and things just shoot out of my mouth. Sometimes I will have a piece of paper that I've organized before coming on here, and I'll have 5 different points I'll talk about. But a lot of times I just come on here and know an idea of a theme, something I'm going to talk about, and then I just talk about it, whatever comes to my head. However, when I'm teaching concepts with my clients and they're coaching, or if they're going to take a course with me, I'm thinking, okay, how do I impart this information in a very simple manner? How do I put this in a way that they can do it step by step and they know exactly what to do, rather than spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes on a video where I'm just rambling, right? That's not really what is going to help people learn. Now, it doesn't mean that people don't learn this way, right? I definitely join live streams where I go on and someone's just talking and they have those gem bits in their conversation, and I'll listen to maybe an hour-long live video or a podcast where they're, doing more stream of consciousness type talking, what I'm doing here, and I will come away with gems, right? Because they'll drop something that I'm like, oh, that was such a good point, I didn't know that, or they'll say something else. So it is worthwhile to listen to that kind of content, right? Here you might say, this part of the video, you're just warming up in it, but this part, I really got a gem or 2 from it. So I'm not discounting these longer live streams or discounting ways that you may teach inside of your programs or your products or how you coach with people. But I think, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. My allergies have been really bad lately. Okay, am I gonna sneeze? It feels like I'm gonna sneeze, but it's not coming out. Okay, never mind. I was in a hotel, 2 different hotel rooms when I was in Niagara Falls, and we had, what do you call, feather pillows, and I'm allergic to feather pillows, and honestly, when I get allergies, they last a couple days later. So I usually, when I was younger, I would go to a hotel, I would call down, that's me and my phone, and I would say, hey, can I get rid of the feather pillows and just get synthetic pillows because I'm allergic to feather pillows? But this time I was a little bit lazy, and I'm like, I'll be fine. It won't be a big deal, right? Because I keep thinking when I was young, I was also really, really allergic to cats and dogs. And I still have allergies, but not like this same extent where I literally couldn't breathe. So I'm like, I'll be okay. It won't affect me. And then the next day I was like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. So I really should have taken those extra 2 minutes to call down and say, can you swap these pillows out? But I didn't. And now I'm paying for it later on. Anyway, okay guys, see, like, this just goes all over the place, right? When I do these Facebook Lives, I have fun with them. I hope you have fun with them. You get to know me a little bit better in terms of my personality and all my quirks and all those fun things. But when I'm teaching people concepts and my thought leadership, I want to bring it down to the most succinct and clear manner. And I got a Q&A from someone today, because what I do with follow-ups is I follow up with people. I send them a bonjour, which is a video that I personally do, and then I say, hey, if you have any questions, I ask them if they want to answer a monthly business question, I can answer it for them, right? And so they were asking, how do I get inspired to do content? How do I get I don't want to niche down too much. I just want to be able to write content and come up with inspiring content, but how do I come up with that inspiring content? And my real answer is you have to constantly put on the hat of being a thought leader. You have to remind yourself that you're an expert in what you're coaching on, and you're an expert in helping coach with specific people, right? So whatever you do, right? It doesn't mean you have to be a coach. My partner is a fascial stretch therapist and mobility specialist, as well as personal trainer, and he tends to coach with baby boomers and people that have mobility issues, or older people who have done computer jobs, and eventually they're like, oh, I don't like the way I look, I need to change my life, I need to get in shape, right? He's actually training me right now. I've actually been on a training regimen. I'm so proud of myself. I'm not really looking at the scale to lose weight or anything. It's more about building muscles. I'm okay with my weight. It's more about toning up and feeling strong. So we've been working on that kind of thing, and I'm excited to work out. I'm excited to train, and I literally feel my arms and my legs. Yesterday I did a lot of arm works and squats, so I'm feeling those areas of my body right now. But anyway, his specialty is really in mobility and helping baby boomers, essentially. I'm not a baby boomer, but that tends to be his general audience, and he's really good at stretch therapy. So that's who he tends to attract, right? Now, does he attract 30-year-olds? Does he attract 20-year-olds? Does he attract men, women, all different people? Of course he does. But his main thing is, I will help you with pain. I will help stretch you and increase your mobility and your flexibility, and help you with strength training. So he does have a specialty, but just because he's chosen a specialty and a niche doesn't mean other people don't come to him, right? I talk about helping women all the time and how I'm about women's empowerment. But it doesn't mean men don't come to me. I still have men coach with me. And so I really want to stress that just because you find a niche, and just because you choose a niche, and I know it can feel restrictive to only talk about specific topics, but it's really important to start saying, what is it that I want to be known as an expert in? And then from there, taking those topics, it could be 5 to 6 topics that you talk about over and over and over again, but people start seeing you as an expert in that. And it doesn't mean you can't talk about other things as well as those main topics. And it doesn't mean that other people from different age groups or different, things that they do, I was going to say different sexes, but you know what I mean? If they're a different gender or different sex, they don't come to you. It just is a matter of niching to a way so that you become a thought leader in what you're coaching on. You become a thought leader in what your program, product, or service is. And if you're just always general, people will never see you as a thought leader. They'll just see you as someone that's generalized. And most people go to advice, or they try and find someone who can give them specialized knowledge. That just isn't how it goes. And so I want you to think about that. It's not about making things more difficult for you and counting out people and people not coming to you because you're saying, I don't work with these type of people. It's more about you're going to rise to the top because people are going to see you as being known for something, and they're going to see you as a specialist, right? Just like if I were going to go to someone to lose weight, and actually here's a great example. I found someone online who, excuse me, my nose is, sorry if I'm sniffling, who specializes in weight loss for women in their 40s, right? I'm in my 40s. And that is going to resonate with me more than weight loss for 20-year-olds, of course, right? Now, the cool thing about that is, does it mean that this woman who focuses only on women in their 40s, she's not going to attract other people? No, I will bet you she attracts other people as well, because she focuses a lot on hormones and perimenopause and different issues that other people might face as well. I'm not saying that someone in their 20s is going to have perimenopause, but they might have hormone issues, right? And she has different ways of dealing with hormones and the way she talks about weight loss. And so I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how can you start looking at your business and what you teach as an extension of your thought leadership. Your coaching is an extension of thought leadership. And being excited about becoming a thought leader in something, being interested in the topics that you're going to be teaching on, and interested in learning more and more about what you're training on, right? So that's all I have for today. The idea of thought leadership and how that can inform your content, how that can help you stand out as an expert in what you do, and also knowing that that is what's going to help you create a sustainable business by knowing what do you want to be a thought leader in. Now, if you're saying, I don't know, it's so generalized, I can't figure it out, I would say choose something, and then you can always get some clients, get known for it, and then you can broaden out, right? So look at Oprah. She started out as a news person and then went on doing talk shows and more kind of talk shows where people are coming to their problems, and now she's more into like spiritual and Super Soul Sunday and that kind of thing, right? So you can see that Oprah didn't stay in the news realm forever. She didn't then stay in a talk show realm where she was dealing with people's problems. Now she's doing interviews with people from House of Gucci, right? I was watching her interview Lady Gaga and the cast from House of Gucci, a movie that I really want to see. And she does those kind of things. She just did an interview with Adele, right? But that wasn't always what she focused on, right? And so you will grow. You will grow into what you want to do and where you want to be. And so it's okay to pick something, stick with it, get good at it, get clients in it, and then move on. I never think that you have to stay stuck into your niche. You don't have to do that, but it is important to become a thought leader and get known for something, so that when, Oprah would have been getting known for what she did, and that's how she could have moved on to the next level of her success and of her career, right? And then eventually have her own network, right? In the beginning, it wasn't that way. She didn't just come out of I don't know where she went to school, where she went to college, but she didn't just go from college to having her own television network. It just didn't work that way, right? It was all steps on her journey to get where she was, and who knows, she might have more steps along the way in the future, right? And so it's about thinking that way about your business and thinking about that way so that it inspires you to think, I want to conquer this first. I'm going to conquer this part of my business now, and not worry about my future. What am I excited about? What am I inspired about now? And get good at that. And then once you're ready to move on and add to your repertoire, maybe you're known for something, you can then expand on it. It's just like anybody in any type of industry. I was in the advertising industry and publishing industry for many years. And when I first started out, I first started in consumer magazines. Well, actually before I was always consumer magazines. I was in like a travel and tourism magazine. Then I went into a magazine about English homes and gardens when I was living in the UK. And then I moved into magazines about the entertainment and advertising industry and TV commercial productions. And then from there, I moved out of publishing and got into more of the behind the scenes, like software and within that advertising industry. And then I got into representing talent and composers and that kind of thing, right? And then I became the talent. I became a writer and director. So it's the same idea. Like once I got good at each thing, an area of my life, didn't mean I had to stay there forever, but it was just like one step, right? One step on the ladder to the next area of where I was going to go in my life and in my business. And I want you to think about that. I think that so many people are afraid to put their flag up and say, this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm going to teach you on, this is what I am excited to mentor on and coach on. They want to be everything to everyone, right? And I think that does you a disservice for your marketing, but it also does your client a disservice, because they're less likely to choose you because they don't really know what you stand for, and they don't really know what you're good at and what you own, right? And what you feel like you're a thought leader in. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.